It's the Six Songs podcast from Hamilton Underground Press. Hello, we're back by popular demand, or something similar to that. It's the Six Songs podcast with me, RP, and
Ian.
And Ian. It's New Year's Eve, if you wanted some context. Not that that really matters at all. But the first podcast seemed to get a lot of listens, a lot of hits, at least over 200, which is ridiculous. Maybe it's the time of year, I don't know. People are a bit bored and want to listen to middle-aged blokes playing music
Yeah,
each other.
we got some good stats, but I know I listened to it a few times, and I think my family
many
did as well. So,
Well, that's all right. So, I mean, let's not belittle the family listen. You know, any port in a storm.
I'm sure it went beyond that. There were a few comments on Facebook as well.
They were indeed. Yes. Anyway, so we're back. Just a reminder then for people that haven't listened or did listen and might have forgot. So we're playing 6 songs. We brought 3 each, and one of our songs has to be Hamilton related. The other has to be New Zealand related, and then the other one can just be a random one that we like and we feel like talking about or playing anyway.
And neither of us knows what the other one is brought
No.
in, so it's a surprise.
It is a surprise. I actually just put a USB in the side and said, I can't look at that because it will spoil the magic, he said. Yes. Anyway, good. So tradition, I mean, we've been doing this for such a long time. Tradition states that we need to decide the first song, or rather the choice of the first song by Paper, Scissors, Rock.
And
last time
we've got the Paper, Scissors, Rock rules.
we've
too.
got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we show on the 5. So here we go. Are we ready?
Paper, Scissors, Rock.
Oh, you blunt my scissors.
I win. I got a
Yes,
rock.
you do. So your first song. What's your first song going to be?
All right. So my first song is going to be a Hamilton-related song. So by ex-Hamilton band Ghosts of Electricity, and it's from their album that came out earlier this year, 2017, called Music to Get Puppies to Sleep, and the song is called Cultural Show. We can talk about it more at the end of the song.
Let's do that.
Cultural show, here it goes. Hotel night, here it goes. Came here last year. Do you remember me? Came here last year. Do you remember the time of my life, the time of my life.
All right, so that was Cultural Show by Ghosts of Electricity. So that come off their 2017 album Music to Get Puppies to Sleep. We had them play at a couple of our shows in 2015 after their album Trolls, and
That's right.
they were quite punk back then. And then that last year's album was quite a different animal. It was, sort of half, quite poppy like that song there, and half of it was kind of, spoken word and. And some of the lyrics probably a bit more contentious. I was going to pick one of the contentious ones to start with, but I can't play contentious songs every week.
Well, you could be setting a theme there, setting a bar for yourself.
I could. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset anyone. Don't want to alienate our audience.
Oh, maybe now and then.
Maybe every now and then.
I really like that song though.
It's a nice one. I like the whole album. I like. There's kind of two sides to it, and they did get some interesting sort of scathing reviews, particularly from
really?
Tearaway magazine.
Really?
Yeah, they hated it.
Oh shit! Oh my god, I really liked it. I don't know what, there was some hooky stuff going on there, particularly in the chorus, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. It's kind of, it is again quite a poppy song. I know I played quite poppy songs last HUPCAST as well. But
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I think there's something I don't know, just interesting about it.
Yeah, definitely. Ghosts of Electricity, Cultural Show, very good. Okay, my turn. My first song is by a Hamilton band that I think on very long hiatus, but they're called Strayhound. Have you ever heard of Strayhound?
I have heard of Strayhound.
Oh, cool. Did you ever see them?
I never saw them, or did I? Unless they played at the Merry Molly Christmas party.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah,
actually.
I can't remember. I'd have to check.
The only time I can remember seeing them, they played in. It's actually empty now. You know where Navarra Lounge is, and then just around the corner there's it used to be a massage parlour thing, like an empty building just around the corner from there.
Right.
And it's currently for lease as well. And that it actually used to be Sam who did Mole Music, Sam Walsh. They used to have a second-hand kind of clothing place there, which called Madam Muck. That's right. And then that became vacant, and they played in there. It wasn't a venue or anything. It was just like an empty building, and they played there, and it was rammed. I remember that. I think they used to go to Wintec. There was quite a good crowd there, but that was bloody ages ago now. Anyway, I'm going to play a song off I think it was the first EP, called Alicante, and the song is called Stranger Friends.
I guess I need a change. I'm tired and I need somewhere that I can take a rest. 'Cause I'm late. I try to play it straight. I say I'm in control. I'm just another liar. And you don't even know what you want. You're so tired that you're singing along to the voices hanging long in your head. They're not strangers, but they're not really friends. So tired that you're singing along to the voices hanging long in your head. They're not strangers, but they're not really friends. They're not really friends. They're not really friends. They're not really friends. I'm not trying to sleep straight through. I
Strange Your Friends by Strayhound, who were active a while ago and then moved all around the world, I think. I'm not sure who's back these days, but anyway. I really like that song. It's probably my favourite one off that EP that I mentioned. And I know that, I think they did an album after that. Probably could have researched that, to be honest. But yeah, that gig sticks in my mind. It was just an empty building. It was absolutely rammed. There was no bar or anything. I don't even think there was a toilet in there. So I think it was just they leased it for this show, and it was great. It was quite cool. We should do more stuff like that.
At least you'd researched where they'd gone to, because that was going to be my question. If you had any idea what had happened to them, and if they were still doing.
I'm not sure. I know Mike. Well, I know Michael a little bit. I think Michael's from England. I think he moved back to England, but I'm not sure. But yeah, no, I really like that song. Anyway, I'm a bit of a sucker for a harmony, me.
Yeah. I think. Am I right that they played a show down at the band Rotunda? I think there might be some.
Quite possibly. Is there some footage on YouTube?
I think there's some footage on YouTube from memory. Yeah. I mean, my memory sometimes fails me, but
no, that's all right. That's allowed. Cool. Anyway, yeah, Strayhound. This is my Hamilton track done. Over to you.
All right. So I'm up to my New Zealand track now, but there is a Hamilton relationship in this track, which I'll talk about a little bit more at the end of the song. But my song is going to be "Mothers" by JPS Experience.
Ah, cool.
And I think you already know what some of the stories are that I'll tell about this. But JPS Experience, Flying Nun band, 84 to 94, used to play Hamilton a lot. So I saw them at the Riverina, the now sort of flattened Riverina, a number of times in the early 90s. And so they were one of my favourite songs for a time. One of my favourite bands for a time there. So, this is Mothers.
It's really not my way, dear. It's just that none other people's fears. But now it both me deep in it. 'Cause you were going out with him. 'Cause you were going out with him. 'Cause you were going out with him. It's not the same in this town since the boy slipped his lip, and it wasn't meant to drag him down, but that's exactly what it did. Part of him still wants you, but part of him is still with you. Well, I'm not paralyzed by fear, but the whole thing makes me pretty sick. And now I sit and think and wait for him to take it out of me. For him to take it out of me. 'Cause you were going out with him. For him to take it out of me. 'Cause part of him is still with you.
You're listening to the Six Songs podcast from Hamilton Underground Press.
Alright, so that was Mothers by JPS Experience. As I said, used to be regular visitors to Hamilton. And that one was on the 1989 album The Size of Food, but interestingly, not on the New Zealand version. You could only get it on US import.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was on the version that was released through Communion. And
So was it released here on anything?
It wasn't released here on anything.
Shit, no way.
So you've got a different connection to this song.
Oh, I've got a very different connection, because I actually thought it was, this is how lazy I used to be at checking, writing credits and all that sort of thing, but of course I grew up on a different part of the world, and it was known to me as a wedding present song. And we've just checked, haven't we, while it was playing, and I've got it on was it the Dalliance?
Love Nest.
On the Love Nest
1991
CD single.
Love Nest.
Yeah, so I grew up with that, thinking it was a wedding present song, and then name dropping now. When I interviewed David Gedge before their show here this year, he brought them up as a band that were favourites of theirs when they were around that time, you know. So they covered it.
Yeah, 3 times.
Three
times they released it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, on the 1991 Love Nest single was the first one, but they also released it on 1993's Hit Parade 3 and the 2001 reissue of Sea Monsters.
Parade, that's right, yeah.
And they did in fact play that song in Hamilton when they played here a few months ago in June or July, whenever it was. And it's really interesting when he announces the song.
List,
oh yes, when he announces the song, he said, "Well, this is actually the first time I've ever played this song."
Here it is.
In Hamilton. Yeah. And if you go onto there it is.
That's the set list.
If you go onto YouTube, you find him playing the song a number of times, and each time he says, "This is the first time I've played this song in wherever."
Oh, that's good, because I went up to see them in Auckland the night before they played in Hamilton, and he said the same thing about Auckland, first time they played it there, and the same thing about Hamilton the following night. So yes, I see what you mean.
It was quite funny though. I mean, I think that the crowd kind of cheers after he says he's played it for the first time. So I think lots of people miss the in Hamilton part.
Yeah, right.
I can't believe we're hearing this for the first time.
Yes, quite. Yeah, and he had that wry Gedge smile as well after it, as if like, oh dear.
It's funny, he does it word for word at all these other
Really?
concerts, exactly the same intro.
I love it.
His little joke.
Oh dear. Highlight of the year, and a cracking song as well. Good choice. So was that your random? No, that was your New Zealand song.
That was kind of my random one, really.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Mine are all New Zealand.
Oh, righto. Okay, sticking it to New Zealand first. Ian, vote for Ian for New Zealand. No, God, that's horrendous, isn't it? Anyway,
Your track.
My track is all vote Rob for New Zealand first. It's my New Zealand track. And it's by a band that played it. This is quite coincidental, by the way. This is genuine radio magic here, because I didn't know you were bringing that. But this is a track by a band that played in May of this year. This is the Bats. I'll talk about it more after the song.
Why the long face alone? Where is that pick-me-up? I know I haven't tried, but I will this time, and I still trust in you. And it's at home in your heart.
Up to the Sky by the Bats. What do you reckon?
Oh, this is lovely. I think you can bank your house on Bob Scott.
I reckon.
Has he released a bad song?
Not to my knowledge, but I've only just discovered him. So that was interesting because, well, for a number of reasons. They were wonderful when they played in May, of course. That was before the wedding present came to town. There's a nice little segue in there, very unplanned. But this is on At the National Grid, which is probably in the first 2 or 3 albums that I bought when I first came to New Zealand. That was 2005. And we're just looking at it here. That it was recorded around 2003, 2004, and then released later, 2005-ish.
Yeah,
something like that.
And on some random label, not on Flying
Not
Nun.
on Flying Nun, no. I wonder what happened there. So on Magic Marker in the US, but obviously it was for sale here as well. But I remember it being like one of the bigger indie releases because I was like, okay, well, I'll check out this band. I mean, I was completely oblivious to most Flying Nun stuff until that point. But I love this album a lot. And the track before it was umming and ahhing before Up to the Sky or Mia before it. Not that all the other tracks aren't great, but they're probably my 2 favourite ones. Yeah.
I thought it was quite funny that you introduced it as Up in the Sky to start with, and I thought that was quite funny because that's actually the name of a John Paul Sartre Experience song, and so I thought this is quite an interesting connection, but you just got the name wrong.
Error laden, Up to the Sky. Yes, thank you for correcting me there. Oh God, what would I do without a sidekick? Right, good. Anyway, so we've just had JPSE and the Bats, and now it's time for your third song.
Yes, so this is I kind of had 2 Hamilton-y related songs, and so this is another Hamilton sort of related song, 1 part Hamilton to 3 parts Aucklander. And
a heady mix.
Yes. So this is a song that I know we both love, and a band that we both love. So this is Greasy Meal by the Scones.
Oh, very good, yes.
Citrus fruits were getting pretty tight on the southern rail in the middle of the night. The 9 Eyes took a single too long on, and the train to Robbie's shout. Morrissey and Ma and Tony T thought they had it figured out, but I'd like to hear a song about trains that doesn't sound like a train. It might wobble like a jellyfish, it might seem like an accident. conversation resulting from using only articles. The and the and the and rolling down the gorge on the Tyree Express, feeling fairly frail and we're wanting to be fed. Hash brown, get it down, hot dogs and cheese rolls, mac and cheese, yes please, bacon and rissoles. Rory and Phil doing claim their pies, they're not very attentive guys, they're not uplifting garment guys, they're not like you and me. The and the and
So that was Greasy Meal by the Scones, and sort of a couple of connections there with HUP shows as well. They, of course, they supported the Bats along with
They did.
some of the band. I forget the name of. Ancient Tapes, I think you'll find it.
Oh, okay. I was staring into the distance, wondering yes,
Yes.
wondering about the things. Of course, that's right. Yes, yes.
And that song also mentions the Nine Eye Express
Yes.
amongst it. So they're singing about or wanting to hear a song about trains that doesn't sound like a train. And one of the songs that inspired it was Overlander by Nine Eye Express,
Yeah.
who of course supported
Spiral Stairs.
Spiral Stairs.
Yeah, right.
Yes, one of our.
Don't test me like this, live on air, in front of thousands of people. Yes, very cool song.
I love it.
I mean, we're both big Scones, but that was a safe bring.
Yes.
Yes, but very, very cool. And of
Well, I
course,
know, you and I love it. I don't know if the world knows about the Scones as much as they
yeah,
should.
well, the world's an oaf.
Yeah.
I mean, just look, Donald Trump.
Well, what was fantastic about that night they played in front of the Bats, we had a sold out crowd, and people really warmed to the
They
Scones
did, yeah.
during that set, and I think they
Rightly so.
got a lot of new fans that night, and I think they deserve lots more fans than they have.
Definitely. I thought we were just saying as it was playing, I think the songwriting is getting a lot cleverer. Maybe not on first listen, but when you actually get beneath it, I think there's a lot going on there, and I love it a lot. So well done. Thank you for bringing that. That's you done.
That's me done.
That's you done, yes. Good. We were just saying off air, if that's what we could term it, how good these last four songs are. I mean, I don't think you've heard this next song, but I think you're going to like it a lot. So my final song is by an Australian band, so I've branched overseas a little bit here. A band called Dick Diver, who are on, I think, all the time, but I'm not sure, but Chapter Music, an Australian label of note. And we're part of, I hate doing this, but we're kind of lobbed together with a load of other jangly bands, a bit like the bands we've just played, as the new Melbourne Jangle. But they feature, you remember, did you come and see the show by Terry at Nivara Lounge last year?
No.
No, that was really cool. That album is quite something. And Al, who is in Terry, and loads of other bands like Total Control and all these other UV Race and very other neat Aussie bands, plays bass and sings a bit, I think, in Dick Diver. Anyway, we'll talk about a bit more after the song, but this is absolutely bloody brilliant if you ask me, which you're not, but there you go. It's called Calendar Days. Calendar Days by Dick Diver. What do you think?
Fantastic.
You like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a bit of a thing against Australian bands.
Go Winston! No, voting in for New Zealand first! All right.
I mean, we've always, I grew up, on a lot of Fly Nun bands here, and Australian bands just never really compared, and so I've always kind of had that thing about Australian bands, that they're just never as good as local bands, but that was lovely. And I do think, well, they kind of sounded like a New Zealand band from the 90s in many ways.
Yeah, and I think they're heavily influenced by all that. In fact, I was reading in my research, I was reading an interview with Al about Terry, the other band that they toured, and he was on about the Clean and the Chills and all this kind of thing. So very heavily influenced by them. But that was a 2013 album, which was voted by the Guardian as the best Australian album of 2013.
Nice.
There you go. And I think it's an absolute cracker. That's my favourite song off it. I have to say I've got that on repeat an awful lot at the moment. But the whole album is quite fantastic and well worth a listen. So that's Dick Diver. There you go. That's the end of the second episode. Let's just recap the songs. So, what just happened here? Well, this is the section of the show called "What Just Happened Here."
What the heck just happened?
So, who won? You won today.
I won.
You won.
And my
Paper,
first
Scissors, Rock.
Yes, my first song was "Cultural Show" by Ghosts of Electricity.
That's true. And then mine was "Stranger Friends" by Strayhound.
And then I had JPS Experience, or John Paul Sartre Experience, or JPSC, whatever you want to call them. And their track was Mothers.
Mothers, yes, good one. And then I had the Bats and Up to the Sky from At the National Grid.
And then I had the Scones with Greasy Meal.
Very good. And then Dick Diver, Calendar Days. And that was our 6 songs.
That was a fantastic set of 6
I
songs.
reckon. Not bad, eh?
Everyone should be listening to this.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially this time of year when there is literally nothing to do apart from entertain your kids, sleep, eat, or drink too much or something like that. Not that we condone that sort of thing. Sleeping's good. But yes, there you go. That was episode 2 of 6 songs. Drop us a line if you like it, if you can be bothered. I mean, that's a lot to ask, actually. But anyway, if you do like it, just share it around. And look out for the next episode. Thanks a lot for listening. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
That was the 6 Songs podcast from Hamilton Underground Press. You can find us online at hamiltonundergroundpress.com